Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, senior colleagues. Good morning, our veteran Cppa members. We are so proud to have you all here. Our time is fast spent, and we want to plead your indulgence that please give us your maximum cooperation, and I promise you a very exciting session this morning. We would like to start with an opening prayer, and the opening prayer would be said by the Vice President of Cppa in the person of Dr. Bridget Janet Adu. Opening prayer. Please, let's give it up for her.
Shall we pray? Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you for a day like this. We want to thank you for the gift of life. We commit this meeting into your hands. We commit all the leaders into your hands, those who are going to take part in the debate and everything. And Father, we pray that all the audience will also be participating positively. And at the end of the day, we shall give you all the glory, and we be fruitful from this meeting. As we leave here, you will go with us again. In the mighty name of Jesus, I have prayed with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adu. Okay, because we are in the northern region, we would like to take a brief welcome address by the Cppa regional chairperson for the northern region in the person of Prof. Anthony Amauba. He will give us a brief welcome since we are on his land. Yes, so please let's take very important notice. He is the Cppa regional chairperson. So all members in the northern region, all your concerns can be addressed to the fine gentleman of the land. Let's welcome him with a clap.
Yes, sorry. That's fine. You can just do it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, moderator, and good morning to all of you. Once again, we have assembled in Tamale, something that we have been expecting since 2019. The last time we met was 2008 on this very campus. And during this time, a lot of things have changed, both in Tamale and even our profession. For example, 2008, we had less than 10 community pharmacies in the northern region. As I speak now, we have close to 90 community pharmacies in the northern region. Hostless were just about 3, and now they're about 15. So a lot of things are changing for our profession. And I want us to look, as we deliberate on the theme, that is expanding the scope of community pharmacy practice in Ghana. Let's take cognizance of the fact that a lot of changes are taking place in our practice area. And as we deliberate on these issues that are dear to our hearts, we will come together as a group to be passionate, discuss things sincerely, so that we can move Cppa forward. I want, on behalf of the Cppa Northern Region, to welcome all of you to the 2022 AGM, and I pray that we have a successful AGM. And don't forget, this is a business, journey or visit. Make time to visit Tamale and enjoy yourself. This is the only time that you can make holiday. Once again, thank you and welcome to Tamale. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Please let's clap for him. Let's do a better one for him. We appreciate you so much, sir. I humbly ask that Cppa executives will join me upstage. Please, we would have a 3 minutes, a very brief video presentation by Mega Life Sciences. Mega Life Sciences, so they are the leading, brand for nutraceuticals in Ghana. They have a very rich experience, over 15 years of experience. Please, let's relax in our chair as our media people stroll the video on the screens. But just before the video comes, I think it wouldn't be too nice to just go all through without knowing who I am. I am Priscilla Asaridia Kofi, Cppa National Secretary. I'll be moderating this morning's session. Together with my co-MC, when he comes up, he'll introduce himself. Please, are you ready for us? Mega Life. All right.
Okay, so good day, distinguished pharmacists. My name is Nee, and I bring you greetings from Mega Life Sciences Ghana Limited. Mega Life Sciences is a pharmaceutical company. We originate from Australia and Thailand, and we are well known for producing high-quality, cost-effective medications in every jurisdiction that we find ourselves. We are also well known for our good manufacturing credentials. Today, I have good news for your patients that come to you with pain of different etiologies and offering you tailor-made solutions that do not only relieve their symptoms but significantly improve their quality of life. In this presentation, we also want to talk to you about what we refer to as the Mega Immunity and Wellness Pack, and also spend a few seconds to introduce our latest addition to the Mega Life Sciences portfolio called Max Omega 3. I'm sure you agree with me that neuropathy has a myriad of causes, ranging from metabolic disorders like diabetes to conditions such as post-herpetic neuralgia. But it's usually when patients come to you are esteemed healthcare professionals, for instance, you are pharmacists in the community pharmacy and start complaining of the fact that, oh, Mr. Pharmacist or Madam Pharmacist, I have this tingling sensations in my arms, I have this numbing sensations in my legs, in my feet, that you'll be thinking, no, wait a minute, this patient may be having one form of neuropathy or the other. But I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that neuropathy could be a cause of significant mental and physical distress to your patient, significantly affecting their quality of life and affecting their sleep also. So the medications you offer them does not only relieve them of their symptoms, but also improve their quality of life. But if you agree with me, if you look at this diagram very well, conditions such as diabetes, dyslipidemia, and hypertension are strongly linked to an increased risk of atherosclerosis that reduces blood and oxygen supply to the peripheral nerves. And blood carries essential nutrients like B complexes that play a very important role in maintaining the structural integrity and the function of the nerves. So if this happens for a long period of time, then the patient starts having the neuropathy symptoms like the tingling sensations, and they run to you, dear pharmacists and prescribers, asking for help. According to scientists, diabetic peripheral neuropathy is the leading cause of neuropathy, followed by post-herpetic neuralgia. But when it comes to nutritional deficiencies that lead to nerve damage, there are two things involved. First, there's the functional loss aspect of nerve damage, and also there's the structural changes that happens to the neurons. When it comes to the functional losses, we are looking at things like reduced nutrition to the cells, increased enzymatic changes, and increased oxidative stress. And when it happens like that, these essential B complex vitamins become deficient. But when it comes to the structural changes, we are looking at significant deficiency, and it's been shown through research that B complex vitamins like B12, folic acid play very important roles in correcting this, together with inositol and choline. Inositol and choline are not necessarily B complex vitamins, but they play very important roles in nerve regeneration and the formation of neurotransmitters. The reason why I'm drawing your attention to this is because usually at the pharmacy, when the patients are complaining of the neuropathy symptoms, you are not able to tell if it's as a result of a functional loss problem or a structural change problem. That's how come in choosing high-strength B complex vitamins to help with the symptoms of neuropathy, it's very important to consider the completeness of the essential B complex vitamins. The reason why inositol is also very important is that for diabetic patients, for instance, it also improves insulin sensitivity. So giving a high-strength B complex vitamin that has all the essential B complex vitamins together with inositol is like killing two birds with one stone in such patients. And that is the reason why Mega Life Sciences is proud to be associated with a brand called NatB, which has a complete range of all the essential B complex vitamins together with choline and inositol that ensures complete nourishment for the nerves. The essence of the B complexes being complete ensures for positive synergism because the B complexes are known to be interdependent on each other. So if one or two of the B complex vitamins are missing in the B complex formula, it affects the individual functions of the essential B complex vitamins. Who do we recommend NatB for? We recommend NatB to correct nutritional deficiencies for patients with neuropathy of multiple origins, and this ensures complete nourishment for the nerves. I'm sharing this diagram again because I'm sure you agree with me that for some patients who have severe forms of neuropathy, the addition of a gamma aminobutyric acid analog to a complete range of B complex vitamin like NatB is very important. And that's the reason why Mega Life Sciences is also very proud to be associated with Legaba, which is our brand of pregabalin. It comes in the 75 milligrams and the 150 milligrams that we indicate for managing painful neuropathies associated with diabetes, post-herpetic neuralgia, and fibromyalgia. Again, as I mentioned, because diabetes, hypertension, and dyslipidemia is directly linked to increased risk of atherosclerosis, there's a massive problem with blood flow. And that's the reason why patients who have diabetes have conditions like peripheral vascular disease as a major complication. And when the blood flow problem happens in places like the brain, it could lead to significant memory loss and even stroke. And that's the reason why Mega Life Sciences will also want to introduce to you Giloba, which is our brand of ginkgo biloba extract or phytosome. With Giloba, we say let the blood flow naturally. The reason why we say that is that Giloba has antiplatelet properties that improve blood flow in the brain and peripheral areas. For patients that have peripheral vascular disease, for patients that have memory loss problems, it is very important to recommend Giloba for them. The German Commission agrees with us when it comes to the use of Giloba, especially for patients that come with recurrent tinnitus and vertigo, for those who have memory loss problems, and those who have peripheral vascular disease due to conditions like diabetes. The dosage is just 1 capsule a day after meals. So this is the reason why at Mega Life Sciences we offer 360 solution for your patients that come with neuropathy. When there's a significant blood flow problem, we have Giloba that improves blood flow and has significant antioxidant properties. If you want to correct nutritional deficiencies that lead to neuropathy, we have NatB that ensures complete nourishment for the nerves. And then if you want a gamma aminobutyric acid analog to look after the neuropathic pain, we have Legaba, which is a high quality, cost-effective pregabalin option that comes in 75 milligrams. Again, for your patients that come with significant migraine, very severe forms of migraine, dysmenorrhea, dental ache, and even general musculoskeletal pain, and you want a fast-acting NSAID, we are very proud to be associated with a brand called GoFex, which, because of a unique technology called ClearCap technology, has been able to solubilize ibuprofen in the capsule form. That ensures faster pain relief and lesser GI irritations when taking 1 capsule up to 3 times a day based on the severity of the pain. Then we are also very, very proud to be associated with another brand, another very innovative brand called Limza. For patients that come with dyspepsia, recurrent heartburns, gastroesophageal reflux disorder, for the very first time in this country, we have been able to combine enteric-coated omeprazole with sustained release domperidone. That ensures convenience of dosing of 1 capsule a day, 30 minutes before meals, between 10 and 14 days, relieves all the symptoms associated with dyspepsia and GERD. Why do we say that? Because we realize that GERD and dyspepsia, they are multifactorial. First, there's an issue of poor esophageal clearance, there's an issue of the incompetent lower esophageal sphincter, and also there's an issue of the delayed gastric emptying. So the combination of the enteric-coated omeprazole and domperidone is able to take care of the gastritis aspect and esophagitis aspect associated with dyspepsia, and also takes care of the movement problems like the delayed gastric emptying that complicates GERD. Then for those that come with abdominal cramps, Mega Life Sciences has also been able to introduce a very unique brand that is called Avarin, that combines the unique properties of Avarin citrate, which is an antispasmodic, together with Simeticone, which is an antiflatulent. With Avarin, it's able to relieve the bloating, the pain associated with ulcers, the pain associated with the spasms, dysmenorrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. And it's a much safer option as compared to the other anticholinergics like Hilsin and Trotaverin, which usually cause anticholinergic side effects such as blood vision, dizziness, and also porphyrias. The dosage for Avarin is 1 capsule up to 3 times a day. The reason why we combine the antispasmodic together with an antifoaming agent or an antiflatulent is because the contractions and relaxations of the smooth muscles of the intestines usually leads to the trapping of gas. So taking 1 capsule of Avarin is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. First, you relieve the abdominal spasm that is causing the pain, and you also relieve the bloating gas that is trapped because of the contractions and relaxations of the smooth muscles of the intestines. I mean, this is the reason why we keep saying that we also have an immunity and wellness pack. I'm sure during COVID, one of the very important discussions has been with immunity, and multivitamins and supplements that boost the immunity have become quite popular. We want to propose to you ginseng, which is a wellness formula for men that contains high-quality Korean panache ginseng together with 19 other multivitamins that improves sexual and mental performance, improves energy levels for people who are always feeling tired, worn out, pooped, and also boosts the immune system. That's how it's able to offer protection for the immune system when taking 1 capsule a day after meals. The good thing is that we've not left the women out. For women, we have ginseng E, which has Korean panache ginseng also, together with 31 multivitamins and minerals. That makes it ideally positioned as a wellness and beauty formula for women because of the presence of aloe vera, foxtail extract, collagen, grapeseed extract, and evening primrose. The dosage is also 1 capsule.
Thank you so much, Mega Life Sciences. Please, let's do well to pass by their stands during the break to pick up their drug list. They can go on and on. They are simply amazing. All right. So please, as you can see, all of a sudden, the stage is looking heavy and very, very glorious. So I would like to humbly introduce to the house our special guest for this session. Those of us who were here earlier during the YPG session, you should have seen him. He was passionately talking about Cppa, going all out for us. Without much ado, I'd like to introduce to you none other but the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, Farm Samuel Kondonko. He is the special guest for this session. Please, let's give it up. A thunderous clap of it. A thunderous one for him. Thank you very, very much. Please, our Farm Isaac Nkrumah is around and getting ready for us. Okay. So, I'd like to briefly introduce my co-MC for the session. He's in the person of...
Thank you very much, Priscilla. My name is Anson Vincent. I'm also a pharmacist, and we really want to apologize to you for the delay in the start for the Cppa session. And you will see that the backstage has been set up for tonight session with Ankelebo, and we have to give them time for them to set up earlier in the morning, and so we were delayed. We really apologize. And so the Cppa session that will come after this session will be pushed back from 2:30 to 3:30, and that will happen at the library halls just close to our lunch. So at 1:30, we will break, go for our lunch, come back at 10 minutes past 2, quite a stretch. Then we will complete the Cppa session. Then afterwards, we will move into the Cppa sessions at the library. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Vincent. Okay, next on the bill, we will have a very insightful presentation. Those of us seated here, we appreciate you so much. We will humbly invite Farm Isaac Nkrumah to do a presentation on behalf of Age Focus. A brief one, please. 3 minutes. Media, stay focused. 3 minutes, cut it short for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Isaac Nkrumah. I'm here with me Ford, representing Pharmatech Solutions Limited. So all we are doing is powering the health sector through technology. So we are looking at problems and we are solving them through technology. We have a couple of products ranging from anti-theft, POS systems. We also have systems where we are able to link the wholesalers to the retailers. So you come there and you have all your products. We have all available. But today, for the purposes of the presentation, we are focusing on our label printer, which is the greatest innovation we have ever done. It's not anybody's product, it's our own thing that we developed here, and it's the first of its kind in the whole of Africa. So we'll just play a very short video, after which Ford will take us to the presentation. Thank you very much.
Good morning once again, Mr. Chairman, all protocol observed. Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to be here to introduce the approved label printer, which we are launching this AGM. And thanks to BSGA, Cppa for the solid support and the backing. Honestly, this day reminds me of 11 years ago. And I was in church one day when I heard an announcement that one Auntie Grace in our church was thanking God for saving her life. And she was thanking God because a pharmacist almost killed her. She was given a prescription for a drug that she was supposed to take 1 tablet weekly for 3 weeks. And unfortunately, the supposed pharmacist, which I know very well is not a pharmacist, but the supposed pharmacist told her to take that 1 tablet 3 times daily, which is very different. So I believe that medicines are supposed to save lives and prolong lives, but if they are not administered rightly, they can take lives. That is why we have come up with this approved label printer. It was created by young Ghanaian pharmacists, myself. I'm very well known for these tech innovations, but this is something that is so much on my heart, to make sure that we are always prolonging lives. It was created with 10,000 standardized dose instructions, which we have built by putting together the BNF, the STGs, all the materials that we could find, 10,000 standardized drugs, to make sure that it guides us to avoid mistakes when we are labeling. So on the software, all these drugs are already there to speed up the process of labeling. You only need to search for what you need to print, and then you print it out and stick it to the drug and advise the patient. You have your cautions, you have your indication, you have everything already on the system. Now we know that with this introduction, we are eliminating the handwritten labels that are sometimes crooked, very difficult to read. We are eliminating the 1x2, 2x4 that we write on boxes, and then we leave so much room for ambiguity. We are eliminating the chances of people going home and having to look for other pharmacies to tell them how to take their drugs. At least the patients get the confidence that I left a pharmacy and the medication I'm taking it with full information. That is why we have created this system. Now, we believe this is not something for a few pharmacies or a few hospitals. We have piloted with, yes, the big institutions. We have Kolebu, we have 37, we have police hospital. But we believe this is not a preserve of a few institutions. We believe that the approved label printer is something that every institution needs, every pharmacy needs. The pharma is a tool for the pharmacist, the dispensing technician, the medicine counter assistant, to make sure that we are labeling drugs the right way. So I'll end by saying that let's put the patient first. Let's all make sure that we channel our energies into making our drugs save lives by making sure that everyone here, every pharmacy owner, every pharmacy manager get the approved label printer, because drugs are always supposed to save lives and not to take lives when we administer them wrongly. Thank you very much.
My name is Pam Irene. On a daily basis, I help complete the healthcare delivery chain in my pharmacy.
This is how a doctor's prescription looks like when it gets to me. It is my responsibility to transcribe into clear and professional dose instructions for my patients.
Handwritten dose instructions are time-consuming and may be illegible to the patient, which will lead to them taking the drugs wrongly. For these reasons, I choose the approved label printer for my pharmacy. With this, my patients appreciate the clear and professional drug dose instruction. Everyone can read and understand easily. This device gives me access to over 10,000 standardized drug dosage information in a cloud database. It is portable, rechargeable, and simple to use. The approved label printer app is convenient. It allows us to work with mobile devices and PCs.
Using the approved label printer is as simple as ABC. When I receive a prescription, this is what I do. I open the approved label printer app, input the name of the drug, edit the dose instructions if needed, input the patient's name, print, sign. Voila! Easy as ABC. And the best part is, no ink refill is required with this printer. It is portable and rechargeable. The approved label printer comes with 1-year warranty with no extra charges or subscriptions. Approved label printer, fast, convenient, and consistent professional drug labeling.
Hi, my name is Irene.
Thank you very, very much. That was precise and concise. Thank you for cooperating with us. Okay. Next on the bill, we would like to have one of our sponsors. When we come for such occasions, is by the kind support of some companies that we are able to put up a beautiful show. So I don't know if Unichem is ready for us. A short video by Unichem. If Unichem is not ready yet, then we would like to have a representative in the person of Damaris Forson. She is the Senior Technical Advisor for Public Health, a representative from USAID Global Health Supply Chain Program. So they will do a brief oral presentation for us. So Kimonis International, they are the main supply chain technical assistance provider to the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service. Oh, they are not ready. Great. The fewer the merrier. Okay, we would like to call to the podium the finest gentleman, the face of Cppa, our first man. Oh, okay, Auntie Damaris. All right, fantastic. So, Senior, get ready for us. Auntie Damaris is here. Please give it up for her. Okay, so since you are here, you introduce yourself. Pardon?
That's good. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Damaris Forson. I work with the USAID Global Health Supply Chain Procurement and Supply Management. We are basically a technical assistance provider to the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service. And our main technical assistance is in the area of supply chain management. I understand this to be a very, very short presentation, so we supported the Ministry of Health to conduct an assessment in the private sector, and we just want to give a brief findings of what we saw and some recommendations. So the title of the work that we did is actually a private sector work, so we are taking this opportunity to be able to do a debrief within the Cppa, because we understand that the Cppa are mostly community-based pharmacists, and this assessment that we did is with respect to the private sector. So it's actually a supply chain assessment of maternal, newborn, and child health commodities in Ghana's private sector facilities. And these are findings from a mixed methods assessment. So this is the outline as we have it. And by way of the background, as we know, in Ghana, maternal, newborn, and child mortality rates are significantly quite high. And we also understand that as per the Sustainable Development Goals, we need to be able to work towards achieving health for all, and we need to bring down these indices. Maternal, neonatal, and child health services are provided in both the private sector and the public sector, as per the chart that you can see. Service provision with health is both done by public and private, with private also contributing significantly as well. In the work that we do when it comes to supply chain management, we have a handle quite a bit on the public sector. But when it comes to the private sector, there's limited information as regards the management of the maternal, neonatal, and child health commodities. And this work was to try to get a handle of the supply chain management in the private sector. So it is in this regard that the Global Health Supply Chain, in collaboration with Health Access Network, one key stakeholder, and of course the Ghana Health Services, that's the Family Health Division, we conducted an assessment to understand how maternal, neonatal, and child health commodities are managed within the private sector. So what were our study objectives? It's primarily to determine how MNCH commodities are managed within the private sector. I've said that already. And our key objectives was to determine the availability of these commodities. In the private sector, we looked at health facilities, we looked at retail pharmacies, and we looked at wholesale outlets as well. We tried to capture information on the brands that were available, what were their supply sources, and where available, we also tried to get the pricing. And also to understand how these commodities are managed, are stored within the private sector. And we also looked at cold chain implications for oxytocin as well. As you know, oxytocin is one of the key maternal commodities. Our methodology was quite a simple but elaborate one. We zoned the country into three: the northern zone, the middle belt, and the southern sector. We selected districts and facilities based on stratified probability sampling. So in total, we looked at 69 health facilities, 67 retail pharmacies, and then 15 wholesalers. It's a mixed method study, so we did both quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative, we looked at all the three levels: the health facility, the retail pharmacy, and the wholesalers. For the qualitative, we just looked at the wholesalers, and then our results were analyzed using basic Excel. So these are the commodities that we assessed. As the name implies, we assessed commodities in the area of maternal, newborn, child health. So for maternal, we looked at medicines that are used to prevent and treat postpartum hemorrhage, medicines that are used to prevent and treat eclampsia. We also looked at calcium gluconate that is used to treat mark salt toxicity. We looked at medicines that are used to treat and manage hypertension, including severe hypertension as well. For the newborn, we looked at commodities that are used to treat or care for umbilical cord of neonates. We looked at dexamethasone that is used to improve pulmonary function in neonates as well. And then gentamicin that is used to treat pneumonia and sepsis. When it comes to the child, we looked at antibiotics that is used to treat pneumonia and other infections. And then we looked at medicines that are used to treat diarrhea, basically ORS and zinc, as individual formulations and as Cppa. So these are just the key findings. We are just highlighting just some key findings. So when it comes to the management of MCH commodities by private sector facilities, critically, we realize that the private health facilities, they manage a wider range of these commodities as opposed to the retail pharmacies and wholesale. When it comes to the injectables, retail pharmacies and wholesalers were least managing these commodities. So for injectables like hydralazine, labetalol injection, oxytocin, retail pharmacies, wholesalers, they least manage it as compared to private health facilities. When it comes to commodities like chlorhexidine gel, amoxicillin dispersible tablets, ORS and zinc as Cppa, then across all the various levels, they were least managed. One reason why we can, or some reasons that we can adduce to it is probably there's limited awareness or there's the availability of substitute products when it comes to these commodities. What were some of the reasons for non-management of the MNCH products that we found? We found that for the retail pharmacies and wholesalers, their main reason, the most significant reason, was low or no client demands. Clients were not demanding it. Clients did not come to them for it, so they were not managing it. When it comes to private health facilities, low or no client demand was also one of the reasons, but they also had other reasons as well, like it was above their level of care or their facility that does not stock those as a policy. Other findings was when it comes to availability. Most of the private health facilities, they did not stock this commodity because we found in the previous slide that 2 minutes more. Okay, then when it also comes to quality, you also know that commodities must be FDA registered. So we found some brands of some commodities that were not FDA registered within the facilities. And when it comes to pricing as well, there were some of the commodities that the NHIS was reimbursing at a less price than facilities will offer. We understand that subsequent or after this study that we have done, the NHIS has reviewed some of those prices. And then also when it comes to storage conditions, we also realized that most of the facilities were meeting the storage conditions. When it comes to monitoring cold chain storage, we realized that retail pharmacies, they did not have, the availability of working cold chain storage equipment was low, and they were also least monitoring the cold chain. And then when it comes to oxytocin, for health facilities and wholesalers, they had about 90% of their facilities, they were storing the commodity in a fridge, but retail pharmacies, a quarter of them were not storing oxytocin in a fridge. As part of qualitative, we tried to find out what were the reasons for supplying commodities to the private sector. And they were saying that they were able to predict clients' demand better in the private sector. And the private sector also gives them better returns in terms of profit. So by way, we have some key recommendations. So we are saying that for the private sector, we need to look at the management of MNCH to ensure that no matter where a client accesses healthcare, whether in the private sector or in the public sector, they are able to get the commodities that they need. So there are recommendations to try to create a cost incentive that will encourage the private sector to offer these commodities. There's also the need to review and disseminate policies that will include some commodities that, as per best practice and as recommended by the United Nations Commission on Life-Saving Commodities, are being recommended to be able to be used for maternal, neonatal, and child health services. We are also saying that there should be a further study that should be conducted into current pricing mechanisms of both the national and private health insurance so that we can establish an exceptional pricing structure for MNCH commodities that are deemed to have low commercial value within the private sector. And then also to introduce mechanisms that will allow the private sector to be able to have these commodities within the private sector, and also to advocate for improvements in storage conditions of commodities within the private sector, especially for cold chain storage commodities, and also to advocate for global and national level budgeting for these commodities. So I think these are just the brief findings from what we did. We'll be able to share an extensive document on our results, on our assessments, results, and recommendations. This is just to begin the conversation of how the private sector can help in trying to stock up these maternal, neonatal, and child health commodities so that together we can improve maternal, child health, and neonatal mortality indices in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, our sponsors. We appreciate you so much. We can't thank you enough. Always coming to support. Okay. Please, at this juncture, I can see our numbers are quite appreciable. We would like to be addressed. I would like to invite to the podium the first man of CPP, the chairperson of Cppa in the person of Dr. Emmanuel Kweku Ireland, our gentle giant. He will come and address the fraternity. He will take us briefly through the reports, what has transpired over the year, in the first year of our tenure of office. He will take us through that briefly. We would invite Dr. Ireland. Oh, please, I thought you were going to clap.
Thank you very much, MC and moderator. Mr. President, colleague executives, senior colleagues and junior colleagues, all protocol observed. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be talking to you, wonderful people, for the first time since we came into office. Mr. President, how I wished TSO wasn't sitting here. Probably, I wish he was joining online so that I will not see his face. But all the same, I'll try. I want to welcome all of you to this August meeting. That was just by the way, TSO. We started our administration with the intention to continue from where the previous administration left off, more especially as far as our strategic plan is concerned. Everything we do, we make sure that it is aligned with the strategic plan of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. I'm talking about the Cppa portion of the strategic plan. So we have advocacy, enhancing quality, supply chain, equitable distribution, and promoting research. So in order to achieve all this, we put these committees in place. Now, advocacies concerning self-regulation, vaccines and immunizations, support for pharma business, enhanced remuneration for pharmacists, setting up a task force to ensure the adherence to standards, and then leveraging on our uniqueness as a gazetted profession to solicit for collateral-free loans, and then also implementation of the separation of services. In addition, we also have in the strategic plan advocating for incentivized remuneration deserving of superintendent pharmacists as managers, and then also advocating for fee for professional service. Also initiate campaign to sensitize both pharmacists and pharmacy owners on the need for the presence of pharmacists at all times that the pharmacy is open. And also launching I Am Your Pharmacist campaign as part of World Pharmacist Day. Now, what have we done so far? In order to strengthen self-regulation, we engage the Pharmacy Council to make them understand that this is what we want to do. And let me say that the president of the society led us to the Pharmacy Council, and we had this conversation. So by way of enforcing regulation to ensure that the pharmacist is always present in the pharmacy when the pharmacy is opened to the public, and also operationalizing the use of our SOPs that I'll be talking about very soon. Enforcing wearing of prescribed attire and identification tags by the pharmacy staff. In order to do this, the Pharmaceutical Society, led by the president, allowed the vehicle to be used by the team to run the quality standard survey. And out of this, we're supposed to ensure that the pharmacist is there present in the pharmacy. They are using the SOPs that we have developed for the practice. They are in their prescribed attire. And then also, there are other things on the questionnaire that we're looking out for. Unfortunately, we were shocked that the situation hasn't changed that much because the pharmacists were not there in the pharmacy. Again, in collaboration with the Chamber of Pharmacy, and then led by the chairman of the chamber, Chairman Harrison Abuchate, we had a privilege to engage with CalBank, and they are ready to support pharma business. They have developed something for pharmacy. And so for community pharmacies, wholesalers, as well as even developing something for startups. And so as you can see on the screen, I wouldn't go too much into that. If they are here, they will talk to that themselves. The SOP that we have developed for use in our community pharmacies, and then also by our community pharmacies, we are encouraging everyone to have a copy. Please, if you don't have a copy, this will be the right time to get one, because when the AGM is over, you are going to buy it for 150 cedis in your region. But if you buy it from here, you are getting it at a discount. So you are buying it at 120 cedis only. Professional service fee. Again, by the leadership provided by the president, he has also led this forcefully, and he put a team together led by pharmacist Dr. Richmond Edusapoku, and they developed guidelines for the professional service fee. Now, these guidelines, the guideline is ready, and it focuses on service that will be provided without any additional training. And these services include pharmacist consultation, which is a face-to-face consultation with a patient, medication therapy management, which involves reviewing patients' medication overall requirement, and then also vaccination and injections. In addition to that, we have compounding and extemporaneous preparations, treatment of minor ailments, and then also travel consultations. Very soon, we'll be inviting the president to launch this, and he will also spell out the roadmap for the implementation. So I wouldn't go too much into this also. Now, let me say that we have also collaborated with Total Family Health Organization, funded by USAID, to embark on COVID-19 education project. We wanted to enroll about 800 pharmacists across the country to train for this project. However, we were able to get just half of that, 400 exactly. And so to begin with, 28 pharmacists were invited from all the regions to Accra for TOT sessions. So they were trained to train the 400 pharmacists that we had. And I'm glad to say that this is currently ongoing in the central region as well as Accra. We've had several sessions, and then those benefiting from this are tertiary students as well as SHS students. We are targeting about 500 of them. We are also collaborating with Redbird to provide enhanced quality services in our pharmacies. Already, we are dealing with them at the community pharmacy level, but we want to take it to a step further, where the diagnostic and screening materials that they have will have training on them, And then also knowing that we have fee-for-service, services coming up, we want to prepare ourselves strategically to be able to provide these quality services to our people. However, we realize that there are issues that has to be resolved with HEFRA, and we intend to go back to it and then have it sorted, then we can take off. We have strengthened our regional branches and to ensure that there is membership drive in the regions. Now, we also want to inculcate the sense of ownership, of members, ensure that we are together always as possible. And so the regional coordinators are available very soon. We'll let you see them, and then we'll take it from there. This is to facilitate easy and effective dissemination of information, implementation of our strategic plan, as well as our flagship programs. We have also collaborated with Johns Hopkins Center for Communication Program on a project called the Meatless Monday Project rollout. It is a social and behavioral change campaign, and it is targeted at us as practitioners as well as our clients. Now, this is to build capacity for community pharmacists to get involved and then also educate our clients. It is a PH, or public health initiative, that helps to avoid preventable diseases. And the catch phrase here is to avoid taking meat at least once in a week. In a whole year, you may have avoided about 52 days of abstinence from meat, which is believed that will enhance or improve your health and also prevent cardiovascular diseases. Because whilst helping our clients, we also have to look inward and then also help ourselves because, of sedentary lifestyle these days. E-pharmacy. The e-pharmacy policy and the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform has been launched by the Vice President. And let me say here that led by the President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, we are still making inputs into this policy, especially the system that has been developed, because we realize that it's not fully serving our purpose. And so there were a lot of things that we have to make sure we put in there. And thankfully, it's been accepted and it's still ongoing. Even though it's been launched, we want to make it more operable so that others can also, plug into it. So that is also underway. So the implementation plan will include webinars to train and provide information for optimum utilization after the AGM. So be engaging with the developers so far when we get a green light from the committee to take it further. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say here that Cppa, we endorse these young men, our colleagues who have developed this device to enhance our operations in the community pharmacy. I'm talking about the approved label printer. This device is fast, consistent, and convenient. It is also accurate. In fact, I've had the opportunity to look at the software. It is amazing. They have everything in there that you can generate automatically and just affix the label on the medication. We implore everyone to get this device and use in our pharmacies because we want to standardize our services. We want to move from where we are to another level so that wherever you go, be it north, south, east, and west, at least you will have the same quality services that is rendered to you. We have also collaborated with Private Health Sector Association of Ghana, FISAG, And among the things that we've collaborated on, one of the catchy things that I would like to talk about is that following that, we had a letter from the Director of Policy Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Division of the Ghana Health Services, inviting private practitioners, including Cppa, to submit the list of facilities interested in reporting their data into the DIMS2. That is the District Health Information Management System. And I think that this is very critical to our practice, because where we want to go, there are certain commodities we have to be entering them directly onto this system so that data can be protected and gotten anytime it is needed by both the government and even ourselves. Mr. President, please permit me to also say that you may have realized that we haven't really started our CPDs yet, even though we are going to have our session this afternoon. The reason is that we are yet to receive approval from the Pharmacy Council. So I believe that right after this AGM, the committee will go into serious business to float out or implement or organize our CPDs. Mr. President, I would also want to touch briefly on this security in our pharmacies. It became very important for us to hold a press conference early in the year to bring the attention of the IGP to some of these, attacks on our colleagues and then our pharmacists. Fortunately, the IGP moved in swiftly, visited our colleague who was involved in Kumasi. Now, fortunately, but let me also say that we were also there to visit our colleague and then also to give our widow's mite. Following that, we conducted a survey and realized that about 63% of these robbery attacks are in Greater Accra, 23%, almost 24% in Ashanti, and then almost 7% in Central Region, and then Western Brong-Ahafo in that order. So we've been fortunate enough to have the attention of the IGP. This, I must say also that it was also led by the president. In fact, we are actually enjoying massive cooperation, direction, and leadership from our president. So the IGP recommended DCOP pharmacist Daniel Kwame Efriye, who is the expert who will be guiding us on minimum security requirements for our community pharmacists. Indeed, he is the Tema Regional Police Commander, and as a matter of fact, he is also a registered pharmacist. He will be the guest speaker for the webinar on security in our pharmacies very soon after the AGM. Pharma insurance. We put together a team to look at which of the insurance companies would be able to help us, because in the survey that we did, we realized that about a significant number of pharmacies have not been insured, even including the staff. So it became very important that we do this. And so the team engaged Glyco, Hollard, and then also Saham. In fact, they are in the process. And so these are the insurance companies that they have zeroed down on. Then we'll go on further to open it up to the Cppa membership will have a virtual meeting where they will present their products to us, and then based on what you would say, we'll go in that direction. We have been contributing to policy, national policies, and then one of those is COVID-19 antigen testing and in community pharmacies by trained and certified pharmacists. Here again, I want to say that the president of the Pharmaceutical Society was so proactive by presenting 2 proposals or position papers to the Minister of Health. Fortunately, we have the one on COVID-19 antigen testing in community pharmacies approved. We are only left with the guidelines for vaccination against COVID-19 and other vaccine-preventable diseases. And I believe that will be done soon. The last time I checked, I hear what the information they needed from the Ghana Health Service, they've gotten it, and that very soon it will be approved. Let me also announce that, courtesy the Ghana College of Pharmacies, we have community pharmacists who have been certified as first aid providers. All of these towards, enhancing and then also expanding the scope of our operation or services. Mr. President, please permit me at this juncture to inform members that we have put together a new Cppa advisory board. Let me stand on this to thank our former advisory board for the tremendous work they've done in the previous administration. In fact, at the right time, we acknowledge you and do the honors, provide the honors that we need to, give to you. And so they serve as think tank for us. We also tap into their rich and collective expertise, experiences, and knowledge for implementation of our strategic plan and then our flagship programs. I would like to, I know some of them are watching or have joined us online, and then also some of them are here. With your permission, Mr. President, I would like to quickly mention them. We have as one of the board, advisory board, pharmacist Professor Anthony Amalba is the MD for Chamalt Pharmacy. Please, if you are here, can we see you? Can you be on your feet as we acknowledge you? He's also the Northern Regional Chairman of Cppa. We've enjoyed so much support from him. Prof, thank you very much. The next member is pharmacist Professor Victor Wuto, manager, Costco Pharmacy. Please, can we see you? Can you put your hands together for him? We've enjoyed tremendous support from Prof. The next is pharmacist Dr. John Arthur. He's the CEO of Midland Pharmacy Limited and then a former PSGH president. I'm sure he's online. John, please put your hands together for him. Next is pharmacist Mrs. Doris Atefua, CEO of Victoris Pharmaceuticals and former Cppa vice chairperson. Please put your hands together for her. Next is pharmacist Georgina Ashley, CEO of Ashjane Pharmacy. Please put your hands together for her. I believe she's online. In fact, we also have a very young pharmacist. We approached the young pharmacist group that we needed a young pharmacist to serve on this board. And we are glad to announce that we have pharmacist Emanuela Ajimandria of Ernest Chemist, a member of the Young Pharmacist Group, and in fact, the zonal coordinator for Ashanti region. Is she here, Emanuela? Oh, yes. Emanuela, let's see you on your feet. That's it. Please put your hands together for her. We also have pharmacist Dr. Mark Dradosi, Director Pill Plus Pharmacy. Please put your hands together for him. I doubt if he's here. We also have pharmacist Mrs. Zarina Ribeiro, Managing Director, Mokat Chemists Limited. Please put your hands together for her. Is she here, please? Okay. All right. I'm sure she's also online. And again, we are privileged to have pharmacist Professor Kwame Ohene Boabin on the board. He is the director and owner of Kings and Royal Pharmacy. Please put your hands together for him. Let me also announce that pharmacist Dr. Charles Alote, director of CS Alot Pharmacy and former Cppa chair, is also on the board. And then again, the indefatigable pharmacist Noah Akolache, CEO Premier Chemist, Premier Care Limited, and former Cppa chair. Please put your hands together for him. Mr. President, I'm gradually closing up. Let me announce here that the executives came together and agreed that we wanted to come up with a newsletter to update, it will be a medium to inform and update members on our strategic plan, implementation, as well as other flagship activities that we have been undertaking. And so the premier copy is out, is in hard copy. However, the subsequent ones would be in soft. At this juncture, I would like our ushers to make the newsletter available for us. Whilst they do that, I would like to acknowledge our regional coordinators and chairpersons. If they are here, please come forward, let's see you, our regional coordinators and chairpersons. The Northern Regional Chair of CPPA, Ashanti, Central, Volta, please, if you are here, kindly come forward, we want to see you. Upper East, Upper West, Greater Accra, our regional coordinators and chairpersons, only two are here. Okay. All right. Ushers, can you please hand to them copies each? On this note, with your permission, Mr. President, I would like to kindly give it to them. You can go ahead and give it out. I want to declare this newsletter launched. So, thank you. Yes, please, you can take your seat. Now, I would like to say that when you get it, the cover picture you see on it is my picture. It is not because of the fact that we want to advertise the chairman of CPPA. Rather, because it's a premier edition, the editorial board thought that it was good to feature the chairman on it. Subsequent ones will be other things. Let me quickly talk about our future programs as I bring my presentation to a close. Yeah. We'll be looking next at mentoring and coaching programs. Already, the document has been developed, so we'll just try and put in modalities to enroll. And then also, we've been thinking of career progression in community pharmacy. Now, we've realized that when you come into community pharmacy, you are at one stage and forever. When you move from one pharmacy to the other, there is no progression. And so we've been thinking that how do we bring in, this progression? So the idea was sold out to the GB, and the president asked us to find a way, put something together and come back. Fortunately, the Ghana College has come in and they are helping us to fashion this out. And I want to say a big thank you to Auntie Yvonne and then the Faculty of Family Health and Community Pharmacy of the Ghana College of Pharmacy. Please put your hands together for Auntie Yvonne and her team. Thank you very much. So the same way we want to look at ranking in community pharmacy. So what qualifies you to move a step higher? And that also will tie into remuneration. All this will be developed by the team in collaboration with the Ghana College. We are also looking at effective collaboration with the regional branches of the PSGH so that we will work in collaboration and then move forward as it ought to. Like I said earlier, there will be webinars on insurance and then pharma security, and then also as Carbon comes in, funding for pharma business will also be rolled out. We will announce that very soon. And then let me also say that right after this, the president will have the honors for the president also to launch the fee for professional service. And then also, as part of the World Pharmacist Day, we'll be launching I Am Your Pharmacist campaign. It is very important to mention again that we ensure that we have pharmacists present at all times in our pharmacy. And I would like to advise, especially our young ones, to make sure they are always present in the pharmacy, because the fee for service is for you to provide a service and not any other cadre of staff. It's also very important to mention, Mr. President, that there's the need to look at decentralizing our regional representation to district, municipal, and metropolitan level. Why? Because we have seen of late that these local authorities come up with fees that are so high that we have problems paying. But then if we are there, if we have leadership at the district level, when they are meeting, we'll be there to also make inputs into some of these fees. We have also seen EPA, coming onto descending on our members in the Volta region, that they need to pay EPA fees of about 3,000 cedis. And that is another thing. And I'm sure very soon it will spread across the whole country. And it's something we need to look at critically. But let me say that this Secretariat has taken a step to write to EPA head office, and the engagement is still ongoing. Once again, I would like to say that we have our books ready, the SOP books. Kindly go to our stands, they are outside. This is the book. Please, every pharmacy must have one. Every pharmacist, community pharmacist, must have one. Not only community pharmacists, but every pharmacist must have one. It's 120 at the AGM, but you buy it 150 when you leave the AGM. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Chairman. I'm sure most of us are wondering, hey, all these things that he's saying, when did they happen? Where did it happen? But pictures, they say, don't lie. They've been happening. You can turn to your neighbor and ask your neighbor, are your ears on the ground? Ask somebody, are your ears on the ground? Thankfully, God has given us a doer a doer in the person of Samuel Kondoko as the PSGH president, and we are drawing much inspiration. And as you can see, this is just the first half of our tenure of office, and by God's grace, this much has been done. The future is bright for CPPA. If you agree with me, please give a thunderous clap offering unto God and unto the leadership. God richly bless you, Chairman. Please don't worry. I see most of us are yawning and are hungry. We would have a break at 1:30 to go and have lunch, and we will come and continue. But for now, we would have a very short video presentation by Nestle Ghana, who are also our proud sponsors for this session. Nestle Ghana, please, is your video ready? Yeah. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peggy Amakwampia, a pharmacist and a medical delegate at Nestle Ghana. So today we have a very short presentation, and we are going to be looking at enhancing short and long-term health inspired by nature. So we'll look at the natural defense system. We'll look at probiotics, their role in protection. Then we'll see what Nestle has. That is the advanced new non-optical range by Nestle, inspired by nature. So to begin with, the human defense system is a defense system that acts against foreign substances. And these foreign substances include the bacteria, viruses, parasites, and allergens that usually cause diseases, and they are mostly classified as antigens. So the human defense system is playing two roles. We have the protection and the differentiation. So for protection, the human defense system is protecting against infection, and for differentiation is differentiation between dangerous chemicals and then inocuous antigens. When it comes to the human defense system, the GIT, that's the gastrointestinal tract, is the largest immune organ of the body, and about 80% of all antibody-producing cells are located in the gut, and probiotics play a very key role in the 80% of antibody-producing cells. So let's look at what probiotics are and their role in protection, especially when it comes to infants. So we say that probiotics are live microorganisms, and when they are consumed in adequate amounts as part of food, they confer a health benefit. And these health benefits include protection, helping in the modulation of the immune system to help fight against diseases. We also have the inhibition of adhesion of pathogens to the epithelial cells of the gut, and as well as normalize the intestinal mucosa. So let's come down or narrow down to the gold standard, which is breast milk. For infants, we know that breast milk is best for infants because breast milk contains all the required or the key nutrients that infants need to grow and develop. So this graph is showing about three microorganisms here. We have the good bacteria. In the gut, we have the good and then the bad bacteria. So from our screen, we can see the bifidobacteria, which is good bacteria. We have the E. coli, and we have the bacteroids. So the bifidobacteria is the deep blue line we see. And we see that there's a substantial increase in the bifidobacteria, which is the good bacteria, between the first 2 days and then the 20 days of life in the breastfed baby, whilst the bad bacteria keeps decreasing. But for formula-fed babies who are fed casein predominant infant formula, we see that the good bacteria count rather goes low, whilst the bad bacteria count grows high. So for breast milk contains the bifidobacteria to help inhibit the growth of bad bacteria as well. And therefore, comparing formula-fed babies, casein predominant formula-fed babies to breastfed babies, we see that breastfed babies have higher protection when it comes to the good and bad bacteria. So the question is, when breast milk is not available, how are we going to ensure that these babies are still getting the right feed and also getting all the protection they need? So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you what Nestle has, which is the advanced new non-optical range, which has been formulated with naturally acting synergistic probiotics, which are the Lactobacillus rhamnos and the Bifidobacterium longum, that are going to act together or synergistically to help provide enhanced probiotic actions to protect our infants when breast milk is not available. So we have the non-optical 1, non-optical 2, and non-optical 3, which are from 0 to 3 years. So for Lactobacillus rhamnosus, which is one of the probiotics we have in our advanced non-optical range, it has been shown to enhance efficiency of the rotavirus vaccine, also proven to help in the treatment of diarrhea. And we know that diarrhea is very common, especially in infants, as well as reduce the occurrence of respiratory tract infections, which you'd agree with me is a very key. These are very key common ailments we find in our community pharmacies. We also have the Bifidobacterium longum, which enhances the growth of good bacteria and then reduces the count of bad bacteria, and also prevents the symptoms of diarrhea, especially diarrhea associated with antibiotic prescription, which we all know about. So I'd like to continue with the synergistic effects, and this is the combined action of these two probiotics. We've seen the Bifidobacterium longum and then the Lactobacillus rhamnosus. So the combined action of these two probiotics are going to give an efficient gut colonization with higher counts of lactic acid, helping to prevent infections and diarrhea. So therefore, you are rest assured that the infants are going to have good gut colonization with good bacteria and are not going to come up with all the diarrhea, etc. So non-optical, the advanced non-optical range is a complete range for infants, short and long-term health from 0 to 3 years. That is from birth to 3 years of life. And it's enriched with naturally active and synergetic probiotics. That's the Bifidobacterium longum and Lactobacillus rhamnosus. We have the non-optical 1, which is for infants from 0 to 6 months when breast milk is not available. We have non-optical 2, which is from 6 to 12 months, which is a follow-on formula. And then we have the growing up milk, which is the non-optical 3, which can be given for infants from 1 to 3 years. On that note, I say non-optical has all that baby needs to grow healthy when breast milk is not available. Thank you so much for your audience.
Thank you so much. That was quite brief. Thank you so much. I can see you are holding on very much. There is this ice-breaking question I like to ask. You know, the economy is hard and everybody is crying and all, but right now, if you get $1 million, I like to ask, how would you like to spend that money? $1 million. Like right now, when you get that money, anybody bold enough with a ready answer, how would you like to spend that money? Yes, who do I know? Pablo. Please, $1 million, how would you spend it right now, this minute, you have it? How would you spend that money? The where doesn't matter. $1 million in your account, how would you spend that? Wow. He said he would invest in a pharmaceutical research center. Let's give it up for him. That's wonderful. Okay, our last presentation. Okay, we are having our last presentation, then we go for lunch. But before that, a very important exercise. Our president is in our midst, and we would hand over the microphone to him to duly launch the professional fee for service, which is rolling out very soon. I would hand over the mic to him, and he would formally or officially launch it. Thank you. Please, do we have Dr. Inkum? Dr. Robert Inkum. Dr. Robert Inkum. Okay, please, we would humbly invite him to the podium to give us a gist about the professional fee for service, and then the president would officially launch it for us. Please, let's clap for him as he comes. Thank you. This is where the $1 million will be coming from. So please, let's pay rapt attention to that. Please, can we have Dr. Rechmoy Dusapoku to support us? This is a very, very important aspect of our practice. The practice is taking a new phase, and those whose ears are on the ground will catch it. Please, let's clap for him as he joins Dr. Inkum. They will tell us a little about it so that we are well positioned, even as we roll it out.
Okay. Thank you for the honor done me to launch this important, project or product. But there are a lot of people behind it, but there are two key personalities who have brought us this far. The Professional Service Committee concluded its work on it, but we've left it for Cppa to take full ownership for its implementation. So at the national level of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, we've created a framework, everything. Now it's time for it to move into implementation. One will ask, then what happened to the Professional Services Committee? They have more work to do. They are going to work on what we call the advanced or the enhanced services, like it's happening in Canada, in the United States, and all over the world. These services, they are going to develop modules, and pharmacists will be trained, certified, and licensed even by the regulator to provide those services. So they are now going to focus on creating specialized services where we would have to train pharmacists and certify them to be able to run it. The very first one we are launching is on the assumption that every pharmacist who has been trained as pharmacist, having gone through the prescribed curriculum, can perform these services and do not need any specialized training to be able to perform. That is why we have the basic services being launched by Cppa now, and the professional services would continue with the advanced or the enhanced services. I will leave it with the committee chair to brief you, then afterwards we can have the launch. So, pharmacist Dr. Richmond Dusapo could take over.
Thank you, Mr. President. We were tasked to work on fee for service. So as chairperson of the committee, I co-opted some of our colleagues. So Dr. Vera Santi had experience in the States, and we brought her on board. Professor Wutor brought his experience in Canada on board. We had one lady called Renatu. Renatu is an advanced clinical practitioner in the UK, and she contributed a lot to our sessions. Then at the local front, Peter Jemfi is in Kumasi, ex-chairperson for Ashanti Region, PSGH. He came on board. And then Dr. Inkum and myself, so the three of us were at the local front, and those other three people brought their foreign experiences to bear. We had several sections. It will be outlined through a webinar so that members will get to know the details of that. So practically, there are two phases. Phase one, we presume that every pharmacist should be able to do that. For those who have been out of the books, it will mean revising a little bit more, because you need some clinical skills to be able to practice well. So we will do and work on that as well for those who may need that type of support. Phase two is the Advanced Clinical Practitioners Program, which will involve several modules. because people may not need to know how to use stethoscope for diagnosing, checking crackles and all those things. Otoscopes use physical examination. All those things will be phase 2. And because one of our members is an advanced clinical practitioner in the UK, she will help us in the development of those modules and we roll it. But for this afternoon, Mr. President, we are talking about the phase 1. So for the phase 1, Dr. Inkum will practically show us what we do. If I've been comparing notes with him, we charge our clients for services that we offer. We put in our laptops, etc. He would give the details. But let me point this straight to you. We are not going to advertise pharmacies are charging fees, blah, 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 blah. I don't think any medical officer does that. It's assumed that once you walk into the pharmacy and you ask for a pharmacist service, you must pay for that service. So Dr. Inkum will throw light on those things. Let the practice push. Even if regulation is not in place, let the practice push the frontier until they see what we are doing, and then the proper regulation will come into place. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chair. And thank you, President and CPP executives for also giving us the opportunity to throw a bit more light on this noble flagship program of Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana that is being championed by Cppa. And thank you, MC, for clarifying the issue on the breast milk. Said the breast milk is for the babies, right? Okay, so that is clarified. The living legends understand that. Great. So this whole program, professional fee for services, is hinged on law. That is the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act. And we know that heated to the Act 849, the Pharmacy Act, also mandates pharmacists to treat what they call simple ailments of common occurrence. And indeed, you find that expression in the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act also. And then further to that, that same act also mandates pharmacists to also charge professional fees. And so putting these two together with our training and our background, we fit very well in that category to be able to render those services for which we can charge a fee for it. But when we look at our current setup at the community pharmacy, oftentimes we are doing a number of things, at least for the treatment of the simple ailments of common occurrence. We do that a lot. But oftentimes we have handled this in an informal way, at the counter, recommending medicines for people on phone and all that. And so sometimes we take these things for granted. And so when we were charged to do this, we realized that, first of all, we needed to give a proposal for us to have a setting that will meet those minimum requirements for rendering those services. And so the first issue will be to propose a minimum setup at the community pharmacy, where you really need to have a designated area for pharmacist consulting. That is very important, because it builds confidence in the facility, and when it is well designated at pharmacist consulting room, then even before the client enters, he knows he's entering a consulting room, and that primes them to know that there will not be any surprises when they have to pay a professional service fee, because they are entering a consulting room. And we all know that we pay for consulting services. And so that is the first level. So when we have that designated area, then we should also have some basic logistics and equipment at the pharmacy to be able to do that. And almost all the pharmacies have some of these minimal logistics: BP monitors, glucometers, HB meters. Now we have meters to even check cholesterol and all that. Pulse ox. So those are the things we may begin to add. The pulse oximeters, the pen light, that will be able to assess at least the pulse to determine oxygen saturation, whether the person needs nebulization or not. So all those things are the new things we need to begin to add. So what do? We have proposed some services that includes pharmacist consultation. And then we have recommended some charges that will go with it because it's a new program that is coming up. And then also extemporaneous compounding. There are instances you get prescriptions for suspension, furosemide for a baby, especially those with congenital heart diseases, that you need to reconstitute. Where are they going to get it? It's not. The suspension is not readily available on the open market. And so for these ones, we can readily do them at the pharmacy, and we have to charge for it. Now, vaccination, huge area that we can take advantage of. And thankfully, with the programs by the Ghana College of Pharmacists, we are building capacity to enter that space. That is a service that we can provide and charge for it. And then medication therapy management, huge. And we do it all the time, but we take it for granted. People with comorbid conditions, with a number of medicines, we really need to spend time with them and then go further to help them optimize the treatment. And these are the areas that we have proposed that we can conveniently, at the basic level, render these services and then charge for it. The next phase will be the advanced services, where we will require that we go through a structured training to be certified, both the practitioner and the premises, to be able to qualify to render those services. So, in a nutshell, this is what we have proposed and designed for the Pharmaceutical Society. I mean, this is a vision of the president and the current executive to drive this, and we've been able to come out with something that is concrete, that is practical, that in the meantime, we believe that every pharmacist is capable of treating malaria, treating the STIs. Once we create the environment where the people can build confidence, we can conveniently do that for a start. Thank you very much.
Let me make a point. Before Mr. President comes, let's just quickly make this point. What we are doing is not anything strange or unique. Last year, the UK mandated the 2021 cohort, all the pharmacist students who are training from last year in the UK, they will graduate in 2026. Advanced clinical practice is now part of the module. So when they graduate in 2026, every pharmacist in the UK will now become an independent pharmacist prescriber under the NHS. Actually, the National Insurance of UK will accept them to prescribe. There's a range of medicines they can prescribe. They can now prescribe in the community pharmacies, or they can join GPs and prescribe in the surgeries. So this is the way forward for us. We are not waiting for government to do that. Those of us in private practice, we want to start now. And then later on, government can take care of itself. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can borrow from Dr. Wutok. Thank you, comrades, for helping me with this. Yeah, you can take your seat, right? Or you can take your seat, right? We met with the Pharmacy Council. I'm sure people would ask, and the chairperson was with us, and we made the Pharmacy Council aware that yes, we are going ahead with it. But once we start, the Pharmacy Council will come in also to regulate. So we must always bear in mind that once the professional body decide that this is what we are going to do, they will have to come in to ensure that we do it and do it appropriately. It is along the line when they come for visit now, they will be checking your records to see that yes, indeed, all the things you are doing, are you doing it appropriately according to law as regulator? So that is something we should expect. The caution here, which unfortunately I have to say, is that vaccination may have to be taken out. The simple reason being that the document or the position paper was sent to the Ministry of Health. We got approval for COVID-19 vaccines and all other vaccinations as community pharmacies. But for some technical reasons, at another point, we have been informed that they've taken away all the other vaccines. They want to limit pharmacies to only COVID-19 vaccines. Probably to them, they want to see how we can effectively manage that, how well we will do. So please, in our document, we cannot go all out to do vaccination now. That is just to inform you that the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service feels that we can only start with COVID-19 vaccines in our pharmacy. All other vaccines, We don't know. Probably they may go into the advanced services where you need to be certified to be able to do it. So that is what I would say is a caution. We are professionals, just like the other professional bodies do. We take decisions for our professions. Our profession is evolving. The time has come. This is something that could be a game changer if we do it and do it well. This is something that could lead to massive employment for our pharmacists, because the pharmacy owner will see clearly the difference between them or the pharmacists and the other cadres that they employ. Why? Because the pharmacist is the only one allowed to charge professional fees. These fees that we can only charge. And I am hoping, in all sincerity, that pharmacists will not leave the pharmacy for MCA and tell an MCA that when someone walks in with this problem, you can diagnose and charge a fee, because now we charge fees. For that to be gross professional misconduct. We know we leave our pharmacies for MCAs to run, which we are going to discuss it at the business session. We are not running away from this problem. This administration is going to tackle it head on. We are sending vehicles around doing monitoring, and we have gone to the Pharmacy Council to tell them, and we have the statistics. So all those hanging licenses across the country, we are coming. And we want this to be done because we want the pharmacists to stay at the pharmacy and make extra income. We want value for the pharmacists at the pharmacy. So it is something that we call a paradigm shift or a game changer. Let us embrace it and let the people see the difference between us and all other cadre of healthcare personnel who work in pharmacies. The governing board of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has already approved this. The approval was done and it was announced that the governing board has approved for us to go ahead with the professional service fees. So at this AGM, standing in front of the Community Practice Pharmacists Association, the practitioners in the community pharmacy practice space, and on behalf of the governing board of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, and the powers conferred on me as the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, I declare that the professional services is launched and can move into motion, and therefore all the implementation plans can follow thereof. Thank you.
Please, let's clap for him some more. Thank you so much, Mr. President. We appreciate you so much. I think, in as much as we are very tired, this is a very good time to take our last presentation. Then we are out of here, I promise on my honor. Our last presentation will be by Cppa Ghana, and they are going to present to us a pharmacy management software by name Well Pharma.
Sorry, I have to come back. There's a lady from an insurance company who presented to YPG. She's here from Salem Insurance. Part of the professional fees that we are going to launch, because we are going to train patients, we are going to charge them money, treat them, we all also need to make sure that we are professionally indemnified. And therefore, they have a professional indemnity package that they presented to Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. Let us ensure ourselves such that if anything happens and the patient decides to take you to court, you know that professionally you are covered. So Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is very much aware that these things will come. In fact, some of them are already happening. And therefore, we would give it just 1 minute to talk about their professional indemnity package that they have presented to the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. And afterwards, we would have a link with Cppa on how we see the rollout with the professional fees. So this one is a presidential.
1 minute, 60 seconds, 59 more, 58. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. 56. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for this opportunity. So, I'm very excited to hear what you are doing. I mean, charging fees for consultancy and so on and so forth. Like the President said, this would definitely raise legal liabilities for the pharmacist or the consultant who is giving the advice. And therefore, it's very important that this is covered by insurance. According to PwC, as of 2018, medical liability costs are risen up to $102 billion. And so it's a very important thing that we are talking about. What we've done at Sanlam Insurance is to present this, package this as part of other products that also covers your stock, which we call the PharmaSecure. Our stand is right there. Please make sure that, again, you might be giving the advice but not charging the fee. Please also know that you are equally legally liable. So even if you are giving the talk in the church, if somebody listens to that advice and can prove negligence out of anything that you say, please note that whether you charge the fee or not, you can also be held legally liable if negligence is proven. So please, it's very important that you take this cover to cover your legal liabilities against all financial costs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for cooperating with us and keeping to the time. Yeah, so this particular pharmacy management software is a comprehensive one, an all-encompassing one, a holistic one, which would help us to really maximize all that is being said here in going forward. Please, let's invite Mr. Nana Sapon.
What do you want from life?
Yeah, Nana Sapon.
Happiness. Success.
Please don't keep us waiting. We are very hungry.
For that, you need the right
I'm
team
much more
behind.
hungry than you are, so I almost want to keep waiting. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Nanaya Sapon. Just to answer her ice-breaking question really quickly, if I had $1 million hit my account, when she said that, I quickly checked my phone to see if there indeed was a notification, because I was planning to book a connecting flight when I get back to Accra, to Maldives or Sao Tome, and wave Ghana goodbye. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I'm still hoping I get a notification. So like I said earlier, I'm Nanaya Sapon. I represent Cppa Ghana Limited. We are an IT firm. Our able CEO, Dr. Vera Santi, is here on the panel. What we do basically is we develop IT solutions basically for the health sector. So about 2 years ago, we developed a health insurance adjudication, claims adjudication and management and payment platform, which has been piloted with Glyco Healthcare. And currently we have over 800 service providers ranging from hospitals, pharmacies, clinics, labs on our platform. We also have an optical management software, which has also been piloted with a few eye clinics here in Ghana. And what I'm going to talk about briefly, so we can head out of here, is our pharmacy management software called Well Pharma. Yes, so we can see basically on the screen, it's a very interactive software. Once you log in, on the left pane, you see various tabs that you can click on. There's an interactive dashboard that gives you certain information. You can pick and choose what you want to see. So for here, you can see your sales performance, or the various cashiers in your pharmacy, their performance. And if you hover your cursor over it, it actually gives you the actual figures of sales that they have done within a particular period. Now, when you scroll down, it gives you a very important data, which is your products that are about to expire. This can range from a month to 3 months. So it's there on your dashboard. So once you log in, you go on your dashboard, you easily see the products that are about to expire, so you know what to do about it. Whether you give a discount or you dispose of them when they expire. The next tab is the administration tab. Now this tab gives you access to the various accounts that have been created in the system. So you can easily create accounts for all the workers in your pharmacy. So you can range from a pharmacist to a cashier to a sales clerk. And you can also assign user roles to them, just like I said earlier. There's a log tab that allows you to track everything that has been done by everyone in your pharmacy. So once you go onto the logs tab, you can see, okay, so pharmacist A logged in today from maybe 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is what each pharmacist did. This is the amount of sales they did, A, B, and C. You can also configure your taxes here. You can also import data. So if you want to do inventory or you have new drugs you need to import, there's the option, instead of keying them in manually, you can import using a CSV file or an Excel file. So it just makes life really easy for you. You can also back up the data that you have on the software and also restore previous backups. I'm going to run through it briefly because we need to be out of here, but we have a table out there. You just pass by when you have a chance. We have some flyers. You can interact with me. You can book a session. I'll be happy to fly or drive to your pharmacy or to your organization and give you a more comprehensive demo on the system. So the products tab here is quite interesting. Here you're able to load all products that you have, the drugs. You're able to categorize them, and you're even able to decompose products. So for instance, in Ghana, not everyone buys meds in packs. You know, there's sometimes someone is given a prescription for a month and the person walks in and says, okay, I don't have money for my 30-day prescription. Can you decompose and give me maybe 10 tablets? I'll get the rest later. This function allows you to decompose each drug and sell it instead of by packs. You can sell it by tablets or unit doses or by strips, which is more common here in Ghana. Now, for stock management, you are able to manage your inventory from here. Like I mentioned, you can check your stock counts, your inventory in and out. You can search for any products that you've already loaded in the system. You're able to configure in your suppliers. If you're a retail pharmacy or you're a wholesale pharmacy, you're able to configure your suppliers, those you get your drugs from. You're able to receive orders on this platform. So it's quite interesting. So there's a wholesaler part of the software and there's a reseller part of the software. And we have the all-encompassing one. So for instance, if Ernest Chemist is your wholesaler and you want to receive an order from them, they can process it at their end as a wholesaler, and you can receive it at your end as a retailer, and later you can do your reconciliation with them. So it just eliminates the whole arduous task of now keying in invoices and new drugs that you have received. You can also return orders. What I want to concentrate on is the prescription part, because this is a very interesting module that allows you to manage prescriptions of your patients. So you're able to key in each patient that walks into your facility. You can key, so for instance, if the person has a chronic condition like diabetes, hypertension, you're able to key in all their drugs they take, their acute drugs, because these people will be refilling prescriptions every month. You're able to manage that from here. If you need to update, you can update and all that. And this also helps because you're also able to key in doctors. And a very interesting thing, you know, great minds really think alike, because I was quite amazed when I heard the gentleman from Approved Label Print, you know, talk about label printing, because he shared a testimony. He said a lady gave a testimony in church about how her life was saved because, yes, I unfortunately don't have a testimony to share because my father lost his sight because of an error like this, you know, so this is very dear to my heart, you know, where you are able to label medications and how they are supposed to be. So this software actually comes with its own labeling module where you can key in, you are able to key in the label, so how it's supposed to be taken. So it's supposed to be taken 3 times a day, maybe 2 tablets for X number of days. You're able to key in all of that and print it out, and it works with any label printing machine. So I mean, why not get one from these guys and you're good to go. It also has a point of sale function, which most of you are used to because most pharmacy software are just a point of sale. This also has a point of sale integrated in there where you're able to track your sales. There's a cash register module where you're able to virtually open a register and close a register for the day. So it helps you track your sales, and you're also able to track your customers. There's an insurance model that is integratable with all the insurance platforms, so the health insurance platforms. So you can just, we provide APIs, so we can now plug in our system to their system, so you can safely and easily adjudicate insurance claims and push to the insurance companies. And the last thing I'll talk about is the reports module, which is very interactive. You're able to pick and choose what you want to see from a sales report. You can do a summarized report or a detailed report. You can actually pick and choose particular products that you want to generate a sales report on. The same thing for the profits and loss. There's a cash register report and a stock report. So this is an all-encompassing, comprehensive, to borrow the word from a lady here, comprehensive pharmacy management software. And just to end, I mean, why should you choose this software? It's very simple. It reduces the number of billing and medication errors. It helps you keep track of prescribed medicines. It handles extra health and wellness services, just as was just launched, the fee for service. All these things have been taken into considerations because we're trying to preempt a lot of things. You know, there's expiry dates, management, and it's also fully integratable with the new e-pharmacy platform that was launched by the Vice President. So thank you very much. I hope I haven't been boring and haven't taken too much of your time, and hope to see you at the stand and we interact more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I personally endorse and recommend this to all, especially those who are yet to get any software to manage your facility. One thing I like about them is that you can sit in your home, the comfort of your bed, and then monitor what is happening at the shop. I think most softwares lack that, but this one will give you that opportunity. Thank you very much. Please, we are taking just a break. We are not done. We are taking a break to go and have lunch and then come and wrap up. The juicier part of this is at the other side after break. And we'll be having, this particular session is CPD accredited. So please don't miss it. When you come back, you will do the biometric again. Make sure you have swept all your CPD points before we are done. Even as we are stepping out, I would like you to acknowledge that this session is proudly sponsored by Well Pharma. They just did a presentation, the Well Pharma Pharmacy Management Software, Top Up Pharmacy, Red Bed, and Approved Labels, and Meatless Monday. Yes, and the newsletter itself was sponsored by these proud sponsors I have just mentioned. Thank you very much. Please, this is just a break-up session. We are assembling here at exactly 2:30. Please be kind to us and be seated so that we can finish up our CPPA AGM. Thank you very much, seniors, colleagues, everyone. God bless you.
In the game of life, one important thing can increase your chance of success. Confidence. Confidence is the game changer.
Confidence! Where do I find that, Jose?
First rule, you need a goal.
I don't play soccer.
Not that kind of goal. What do you want from life?
Happiness. Success. Less worries.
For that, you need the right team behind you.